Hi, everyone. First, thank you to Howard Borden, our Dick Howser Trophy Committee members, our NCBWA National Membership of Voters, and to Tommy Allison, representing the game headwear, our presenting sponsor. Thank you to the NCAA, conferences, and schools for their collaboration, the outstanding assistance of Kevin Trainer at the University of Arkansas Athletics, and to the MLB Network and MLB Advanced Media for their excellent work with Dick Howser Trophy announcements and platforms. This year, for the first time in many years, the Dick Howser Trophy Committee is without the NCBWA's and Conference USA's Russ Anderson. I also want to acknowledge that we miss him, we miss his presence, and his longtime commitment to collegiate athletics. Every college baseball coach, player, and fan hoped that we would bring a full season this year, which so thankfully has come to fruition. And as the chapters of this new season began in February, we then watched and awaited the statistics and performances that would define excellence this year. Inevitably, performances began to stand out. The 2021 season brought about new adjustments. College student athletes were granted an additional season due to the loss of last year's. And with that opportunity of another season came the ability to advance academically. My father, Dick Howser, felt that he was just so fortunate for what his own college baseball experience at Florida State University gave to him: an education, lifelong friends, his baseball playing, coaching, and managing career in this great game. And to this day, people regard their fondness of him to my sister Jill and me, which means everything to us. We often wonder how he would have gone about this of all years in baseball. Work hard, stay focused, and above all else, affect what he could in the best of ways. That is the spirit of who my father was. This year's Howser Trophy semifinalists and finalists all embody those characteristics. Congratulations to each of you. The four cornerstones of the Dick Howser Trophy are courage, character, leadership, and performance, both on the field and off. A Dick Howser Trophy recipient embodies those qualities of the four cornerstones, plus a seasoned performance that is second to none. The courage and character to stay in top shape while recuperating from Tommy John surgery and not only coming back, but improving pitches. To perform academically and graduate with a biomedical engineering degree in May of 2020 and commence graduate studies towards an MBA. And all along, he was acknowledged for his leadership, as recognized by his teammates, several times having been voted a team captain. We know our father would be so proud of you. We all are. On behalf of each of us here, and my twin sister Jill, her daughters Melody and Michelle, and my husband, Coach Gene Stevenson, we wish to extend our heartfelt congratulations to a most deserving and worthy recipient, the 2021 winner of the Dick Howser Trophy, along with his head coach, Dave Van Horn, his parents, Rick and Michelle, and his sister, Ashley. Congratulations to pitcher Kevin Kopps, the University of Arkansas.
Thank you. Sorry. I'd like to thank Mrs. Howser and the committee and God and Coach Van Horn and my family and teammates, just for all the support and guidance they've given me over the years. I would not be anywhere close to here without them.
We would like also to congratulate the head coach of Arkansas, head baseball coach, Dave Van Horn. And Dave has a few remarks as well regarding Kevin. Welcome aboard again, David.
Well, what an honor to be here. Honestly, Kevin's been unbelievable for our team. Such a great leader on and off the field. And his performance this year was something that I've never really witnessed. First off, him coming back from injury a couple of years ago to winning award after award, so dependable. great in the clubhouse. I don't know, a pleasure to be around. I don't think I'll ever witness this again. It's so rare to see a pitcher that can close a game, come in the middle of the game, start a game, pitch back-to-back days, and we had to fight him to get off the mound half the time. So I just feel very fortunate. And I know the other coaches feel the same way, to have had the opportunity to be around Kevin and coach him and hang out with him over the last 5 years.
Again, we congratulate Kevin Kopps from the University of Arkansas to be our 2021 Dick Howser Trophy Award winner. And again, his head coach, David Van Horn, with his remarks. Now, we're going to have a Q&A as part of our press conference. We're going to conduct this as part of our Zoom conference. We ask that everyone in attendance keep your lines muted at all times. Media wanting to ask a question are asked to use their raised hand feature on the bottom of the Zoom screen. Once you are called on to ask a question, your audio will then be turned on. You'll be introduced by name in the order that you raised your hand. Once you are acknowledged, you need to introduce yourself and what organization you are with before you ask a question. If you ask a question, you need to state if you're planning to ask a two-part and whether your question is directed to Kevin or to Coach Van Horn or both. So we are very glad that media people are with us today. And I guess leading off for us to ask the first question will be T. Murphy. I do not know if that's Tim or Tom, but Mr. Murphy, welcome aboard this morning.
Thank you, Howard. And it's Tom, and I'm batting in the 9 hole, not leading off. This question is for Kevin, and I'm with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Kevin, if there's a way to put your season in perspective, from having given up a run in the first game, but then to do what you did after all that, how did that feel?
To be honest, I don't really think about the season like that. I kind of think about like the years before that and kind of the work that went into those years. But it's kind of weird looking back on the season and starting off like that and having a conversation with Coach Hobbs, not freaking out a little bit, but like wanting to stop the bleeding from last year. But
All right, and then just the pitch. It had to be more than just a pitch. Can you talk about what it meant and your maybe your confidence that you developed from being able to throw something that people had such trouble hitting?
Yeah, I mean, I've always worked on my cutter, but I think confidence was the biggest thing this year. I started working on that a lot in the summer and just like starting to appreciate who I am versus looking at things I didn't like about myself.
Thank you, Tom, for your pertinent questions. We welcome Andrew Hutchinson. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning. This is Andrew Hutchinson with HawgBeat.com. Dave, I was wondering, you and Coach Hobbs have been pretty open, all along that you thought Kevin was going to be a lot better this year. Was there a moment maybe during the season where you thought that not only was he going to be a lot better, that he'd be in the midst of a season as special as he had this year?
Well, we started, I've mentioned this many a time in the fall. We knew that Kevin was a lot better, and, standing near a dugout during scrimmages and hearing hitters come back and kind of mumbling to themselves, saying things like, man, I can't stand hitting off Kevin. And we kind of knew that we had something going there. And, early winter, January, February workouts, you could tell it was going to be pretty good. Yeah, he might have given up a run against a really good team early, but we had a lot of confidence in him. I mean, that was many, many games ago to really maybe point to one. We just saw after a few outings that we could give Kevin the ball and this game might be over. And, I can't really say which game that was, but we knew we had something special. And you could tell when Kevin came in the game, it seemed like our team, especially when they were in the field defensively, they were on high alert that he was going to throw it over the plate. If they happened to hit it, they were going to field it for him. And it just seemed like we scored runs when he was on the mound as well. Many a time we'd bring him in down a run or two and we'd end up winning. And it was just a different feeling with Kevin on the mound.
And then also for Kevin, I know I heard an interview you did, I think it was with the Hog Pod, where there was conversations with you and Coach Hobbs about whether or not you're going to come back this year. What were those conversations like? And did you strongly consider not coming back, or was it all just a matter of, hey, if Arkansas wants me back, I'm going to come back and give this another shot?
It was whether or not Arkansas wanted me back, and I was going to come back. But just after the season, I was just kind of unsure of who I am and if they wanted me back, or if they wanted to make room for some younger guys. So I was just trying to make that decision in the summer, and Coach Hobbs thought it was stupid of me to ask. So and I'm really thankful for that.
We thank Andrew for his questions. We welcome this morning Michael Coker.
Hello to the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association. And Kevin, what changes, or what was it like to, after COVID, to come into the 2021 season? Did you do anything special?
I started to focus on recovery and what I put in my body a lot more. I kind of always had focused on that, but like starting in the summer after that season, I really started to thin myself out and get myself into a lot better shape and really focus on stamina for myself, because it's something I always struggle with after surgery. So I really pushed hard through that to make sure I was ready for the season.
Thank you very much. A follow-up question from Tom Murphy.
Yeah, this is for Kevin and Coach. Kevin, you had a stretch of 28 innings that you didn't allow a run. What was that like going through? And do you really sense like the magnitude of your ERA and your WHIP this year?
No, I don't really sense the magnitude of it, to be honest. I actually didn't know I did that till someone told me. Really during the season, I didn't pay attention to my stats or anything at all. I didn't really like to. I've never really liked to, but it's hard when people keep reminding you of it.
And then the
Follow-up
same
question from
well, yeah, the
excuse
question for Dave too. The magnitude. You know what it means? 28 innings scoreless and his WHIP this season.
Well, I remember I didn't realize it at the time either, but I started hearing some guys talk about it in the dugout, and always from a coach's, I guess, perspective, we just knew that every time we put Kevin in there for a while, nobody was scoring, and he wasn't giving up very many hits. And we would talk after the games, amongst ourselves about, how consistent he was, and just the fact that we have so much confidence in him. But yeah, I mean, those are amazing numbers. I mean, you go 5 or 6 innings without giving up a run. That's good. When you're talking almost 30 innings, and who knows how many times different appearances that was because he was a reliever. It was amazing.
Follow-up question now from Andrew Hutchinson.
Yeah, Kevin, I know you're going to give pro ball a shot and everything, but with a biomedical engineering degree and you work on your MBA, what are you wanting to do in life after baseball?
Honestly, I've been really interested in like prosthetics, or I know that people have tried making artificial UCLs and ACLs, but they haven't really worked out. So those are the kind of 2 fields that I'm interested and would like to pursue after baseball.
Question now, we welcome Matt Jones.
Hey, this is Matt Jones, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Dave, this is for you. You've had 2 players win this award, Kevin and Andrew Benintendi. Are there any characteristic similarities that you saw between them during their years that they won the award?
Well, we only had Andrew for 2 years. He was draft eligible after his sophomore year. I would say the thing that I could compare, I mean, you have a pitcher and you have position players, that they both struggled. Andrew, came to the University of Arkansas and had set all kinds of records in the state of Ohio in high school baseball. Might have been had the most hits ever by a high school player up there in the sport of baseball. But his freshman year, Andrew struggled. He broke his hamate bone. Batting average slipped. He wasn't having any fun. Team struggled for a while early. And then he came to me after the season. He was supposed to go play summer ball. And I just said, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to head home. You need to get you a trainer. If you can't handle it yourself, you need to get stronger. You need to get healthy. And that's what he did. And he came back, and in the fall, we were amazed. We're like, we hadn't recruited a center fielder for the future, honestly. And we, about a week into fall ball, we said, we got to get us a center fielder for next year. This guy's not going to be back. Kevin, kind of the same way, struggled here and there, fought through it. And then in the fall, it's a different player. And credit to both of them, with the way they work and their mentality. So that would probably be the thing that I would use that they had in common.
And then I had a question for both of you. Kevin came in with the class with Isaiah Campbell, Blaine Knight, a lot of guys who were really crucial to your success the last several years. Kind of as you look back on that class, what are your thoughts about that class and what they meant to your program? And then Kevin, for you, part of being in that class.
We knew that was a good class. We thought it was a pitcher heavy class, and some guys were going to, really perform during their time here at Arkansas. You just never know how long it's going to take. Injuries play a part in that, but what a super class and what a bunch of good people. Really fun to coach.
Being a part of that class, I love all those guys, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing them again. I've made some lifelong friends in that class, and I think it's amazing that how many of them were able to stay at Arkansas and get drafted just out of that single class.
Now stepping into the batter's box, Pig Trail Nation.
Hey, Kevin, Nick Petroccioni of Pig Trail Nation. Earlier in the ceremony, we heard all of those names of the recipients of this award, like David Price, Chris Bryant, Steven Strasburg. To be able to be named along with all of these great players in baseball, what does that mean?
Like I said earlier, it doesn't really feel real yet. Those are the guys you kind of watch when you're younger and look up to, and to be on the same list with them is a blessing.
We thank you very much for those remarks. Now we welcome Jordan Black.
Hey, this is Jordan Black with 4029 in Northwest Arkansas. Kevin, congrats. Question for both you and Coach. Is there a particular moment that sticks out from this season, whether it was a time you were on the mound or just a moment from the season that maybe we didn't, as media, get a glimpse of something really special that sticks out, Kevin, and then Coach as well, if you will?
To me, what sticks out to me the most is before the season, in one of my bullpens, Coach Hobbs was showing me one of my overlays, and he told me that I was going to be an All-American. And his belief in me and the confidence that I got from that, I think, really helped me through the season.
We have a follow-up question from Michael Coker.
Michael Coker, Black College Nines, HBCU baseball. What were your eating habits like? Was for future stars to follow your footsteps? How did you train? How was your eating habits? Did you eat any special meals? Were you heavy into nutrition?
For that, I'm really thankful for my family to be able to support me in that way. I would go to Whole Foods all the time. They have these pre-made meals. One I would eat, every day. I'd get blackberries, and they have a pre-made meal that's chicken, green beans, and sweet potatoes. And then I'd eat a peanut butter sandwich after that, just to keep my body up. And I think that made a really big difference in how I performed. And the way I thought about it was like, like eating for performance versus like for enjoyment, I guess.
Do we have any other questions this morning for Kevin or Dave? I have
Howard,
one for both of them, actually, before we sign off. Kevin, from your high school days into college days, what does it mean, the growth that you've had as a student athlete on and off the field? And Dave, from your perspective, seeing this young man grow has to be really a very good thing for you to feel about, as far as where he's been in his future coming up.
I think baseball as a whole and the leadership from Coach Van Horn and my coaches has grown me as a man, especially, and has taught me a lot of life lessons and how to work through a lot of things. And it for sure carries over into life a lot. So in that aspect, I'm very grateful.
Obviously, a big part of our jobs as coaches at this level is to develop these guys, obviously on the baseball field, but away from the baseball field and for their futures. And Kevin was, when he came in, we knew he was such a good student and such a good person. We weren't going to have to worry about him at all as far as keeping an eye on him. He was going to take care of business both on and off the field. He was looking back, he was a lot skinnier, and like all of them, looked very, very young and always smiling. I think the players always gravitated to him, and it was mentioned earlier, but here's a guy that's been voted team captain like 3 times. And the first couple of times he was voted team captain, and maybe even he would say going into this year, he was just another guy on the team. He wasn't a star yet. He was just a hard worker and a good person. And that's why they gravitated to him. That's why they voted for him, because he was such a good leader without being verbal, without, challenging people in their face to do it his way, just by example. But what a pleasure to watch him grow up here, so to speak, over the last 5 years and do what he's done. And someone said earlier something about, what are you going to do after baseball? He's going to do whatever he wants, and he'll be really good at it. But I think he's going to play baseball for as long as he wants as well.
We have Sean Kernahan that's been patiently waiting to ask some questions. Good morning, Sean.
Thanks. Sean Kernahan here, 3/4 slot. Kevin, what does the schedule look like between now and the draft as you get ready for the next step in your baseball career?
I'll just be at Arkansas lifting and throwing and just waiting to see how that goes.
Well, we, I believe, had our final questions and answers there, and we thank, of course, everybody for participating. This concludes our 2021 Dick Howser Trophy Award presentation. Again, we are so glad that you've Zoomed with us from around the country. We would like to thank the Dick Howser Trophy Committee, the National Collegiate Baseball Board of Directors, the Arkansas Department of Athletics, Director of Athletics, Hunter Urachek, Coach Dave Van Horn, Senior Associate Director of Athletics, Kevin Trainer, Baseball SID, Oliver Grigg. Also with the game headwear, Vice President Tommy Allison. We also want to thank special help from Mike Montoro, Malcolm Greg, Joe Mitchin, and everybody that helped make this Zoom go very smoothly. We hope that you have a great Father's Day weekend. We hope you enjoy the brilliant shining diamond if you are in Omaha at TD Ameritrade Park or watching the games. And again, thank you very much. Good morning. So long, everybody, and bye-bye.